Ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, I am Josh Samuel, the greatest of the greatest, the best of the absolute best, and I am in the flesh. And on the line with me, ladies and gentlemen, is a good brother by the name of Fran. Fran, man, how you been, man? It's been a good while, man.
I've been doing pretty great. I mean, aside all the bullshit that we have to endure every fucking single day on Twitter, for the rest of it, I'm doing pretty good. Always happy to do these videos. It's
Yes,
always
sir.
great.
Yes, sir. Well, brother Fran, we're gonna talk about a multitude of topics today, such as uh Joker doing what I said a year ago it would do, but nobody seemed to believe me. But yeah, we're gonna talk about Joker, all its praise and success. We're gonna talk a little bit about Birds of Prey, The Flash, a few other things. But let's start it out, brother Fran, by talking about the Snyder Cut, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about it, then I'll pass the mic back to you. Um, November 17, 2017 was supposed to be a glorious day for you, myself, and the multitude of fans of Man of Steel and BVS. It was supposed to be an event like no other. It was going to lead to an epic trilogy, and sadly, a few gentlemen by the name of Joss Whedon, um, Geoff Johns, a host of others, contributed to making a mockery and destroying what was supposed to be a monumental film. And instantly, thanks to a young lady by the name of Fiona, the cries of hashtag release the Snyder Cut came about. The rest is history. It's gotten bigger and bigger over the past couple of years. This year has shown that it's made a very, very significant impact worldwide. Whether it's making it be the top trending thing on Twitter, whether it's news headlines and publications bringing awareness to it, whether it's guys like the creator of Deadpool, Rob Liefeld, spamming his Twitter followers with hashtag release the Snyder Cut, et cetera, et cetera. The support is everywhere. There's different opinions on it. That's fine. We all know it exists. We all know that there is a Snyder Cut. There has always been a Snyder Cut, and there will be a Snyder Cut. There's been a lot of rumors thrown our way, some good rumors, some bad rumors. And there's been a lot of different individuals in the movement as well. With all that being said, Fran, the mic is yours, brother.
Well, I mean, there's what you said about rumors. Like, it's true that there's been good rumors and bad rumors, but what we can't do, and I'm gonna go for it, when someone brings information that's what they heard, maybe it's true, maybe it isn't, but they are just putting information out there to have, like, to us, for the fans and everything, to know the state of things, probability of release and everything. So when someone is just reporting something, why the actual fuck do you have to go after them? Like, if they are fucking Warner Brothers. It's something that I can't fucking understand. It's like, I don't know, a reporter finds out that, I don't know, there's a guy in the White House who is a pedophile. And the reporter comes out in the news and he says, well, I have information that says that this guy is a pedophile. And people, instead of going after that guy who's supposed to be a pedophile, is all the time going after the reporter. It's so stupid. Like, he's just reporting the news. And this is the same that is happening in the Snyder Cut movement. There's people out there that have privileged information, sources, whatever you want to call it, that maybe they are true, maybe they are not, but they are not gaining money out of it. They are not gaining millions and millions of dollars because of putting that information out there. So going after them is stupid. And another thing that is even worse than that is creating false rumors and false information, and not only creating horrible things. Like everyone knows what I'm talking about. Like saying that some people are making fun of the Snyder's daughter's suicide. That is completely not true, because it was like one kid who made memes. The guys who are accusing these other guys, they didn't do anything, first of all. And the second thing is bringing that shit to Vero. Like in Vero, that's supposed to be like common ground. Like that's supposed to be a place where there's no toxicity, where everyone is friends with each other, because Snyder left Twitter because of that. And I don't think that he needs to go every day and start to see the same shit that he saw when he was on Twitter. So
that's fair.
That's fucking stupid. Like, and then there was this guy, I don't remember his name, where he posted a video on Vero where he was like, well, let's unite, let's put away the negativity and everything. And it was a beautiful message, and I really agreed with him. But the shit is that Zack Snyder said, I think he's right, like putting aside the negativity, being positive. And now people are saying that he was agreeing with messing around with the 40 Club or something. Like there was this guy, I don't remember his name, that said, oh, and he was agreeing with us, so this 40 Club, are they gonna block Zack too and everything? And it's like, he wasn't talking about that. Like, we are here to release a fucking movie. We are not here to be pathological liars who are easily discovered that they are fucking lying. Like, we are all of us, mostly, we are grown adults who just want to see a movie. I don't see the need to lie and pick up on each other and create horrible accusations between each other and then create more beef and bringing it to Vero and everything. I just see it like so completely unnecessary and immature that I can't really put my mind to it. For me, it's really stupid. I don't know what you think. I've gone in a little bit of a rant here, but shit.
No, I mean, I'm all for everybody expressing their opinion, bro. Yeah, I mean, I've seen it, and you know, I you know, a lot of the people, you know, they have their opinions. That's fine. I've always been a person that said, and this is something I've said for years, you know, it has to be about unity. We all need to unite for the common cause, for the greater good, and for the you know, what we're going to see, and that is the Snyder Cut. And like you alluded to earlier, it shouldn't be about trying to one up somebody or trying to, you know, be the bigger part, make yourself seem like a celebrity or whatever. I mean, a lot of these guys, some of them I watch, some of them I'm just like, oh, it's that guy. I've heard of him, but I don't really watch his content, so I don't really care. But yeah, as you always say, friend, there's a way to do things. But one thing I like that you always say, there's a respectful way to go about handling things as well. And as I've always said, when you start getting personal, whether it's small or big, you know, then that can just create what we're seeing now. And as I said, you know, the easiest thing will be to just put differences aside. You know, whether that's, you know, having a sit down, you know, saying, hey, you said this, and I didn't like it, but if we can somehow come to an agreement and move forward, and maybe, you know, laugh about it over drinks in 2 years and keep pressing for the Snyder Cut, maybe that's something we could do. But instead of doing that, it's more about, well, you did this, or well, you did this. So again, some of these guys I don't even friends. Some of these guys, I'm not trying to be rude, but I don't really watch some of these dudes, so I don't know. I just see certain people, you know, talking, and you know, maybe they have valid points, and maybe you know, some of what they're saying is true. But like I said, when you start getting personal and throwing personal blows at a person, you know, that's when it's like you need to chill out. And again, as I always say, we're so much stronger united. We're so blessed to have this era of comic book films, such as a Joker, or such as a BVS, such as a Logan. You know, we're so blessed to have these kind of films. And it says so much when we are united, and we're all, supporting it in one way or another, and showing people the power of unity. And that's my 2 cents about it, man. Did you have more you wanted to add, brother?
I mean, what you said was fucking perfect. That's, I mean, I couldn't have summarized it better. But I mean, just to conclude this thing and leave it a little bit behind, like, it's better just if you hear something that you don't like, or you're not, yeah, that you don't like from someone who is in the movement or something like that. I will just say an advice: just ignore it. Like, that's it. Like, you don't have to. When I hear someone saying, I think that it needs 40 million, and I hear someone say that it needs 20 million. For me, for example, it's not the case. But if I say, well, I don't like that this guy is saying that it needs 40 million because of this, because of that. Well, maybe I can say, well, man, I would like to see the sources. I don't think it's really good because of the morale and everything. And that's it, in a respectful way. Like, you don't have to agree with everything, but you can complain about it in a respectful way. But there's a really big step between saying, man, I don't really like your article, but you do your thing and I'll do mine. And that's it. But there's a line that you cannot cross, that is, someone is saying something and I'm going to personally attack him, saying horrible shit about him, creating false rumors and everything like that, just because he said something that I don't like of a movement to get a movie released. It's like, if you put these things into context, it doesn't make fucking sense. Sorry. Like, live and let live. That's it. Hakuna Matata, everybody. Hakuna Matata. That's it. Like, live and let live. That's it. Like, if you don't agree with something, you can say, I don't agree, in a respectful way, but Hakuna Matata, okay?
Oh, Jesus.
Hakuna Matata.
Yeah.
That's the best way to live.
Yeah, and another thing, friend, it goes back to what I said in the past couple of videos. You and I and Jordan Ross have collaborated on. I've had to check myself multiple times. I mean, and I've spoken to you about this, man. There's been you saw. I'm pretty sure. I did a video in response to a YouTuber with more subscribers, Quartery FX. I didn't like what he had to say about Batman v Superman. I had to check myself making that video, because I was like, man, I'm really about to respond to this guy. And even though I'm not really calling him a bitch or a fat ass or nothing like that to his face, he's going to take it that I'm dissing him. And if you look at it from his point of view, yeah, I am, because I don't agree with what he said about the movie. I think it's a legitimately great movie. But beyond that, other videos I've done in the past, I've had to check myself, check not only my blood pressure, but my state of, thinking and, wondering, like, man, is this the best idea? Should I put this out? Is all this yelling and swearing and, excessive swearing and, is all this really necessary? And, it's interesting, man. Like, some of the videos I look back, I laugh at it, and some of them I'm like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that, but I'm going to leave that up as a reminder that for future videos, if I'm going to respond to somebody or something, there's a way I need to go about handling it, And at the end of the day, friend, it's all love, brother. That's why I call you brother. That's why I call a guy like Jordan Ross brother. That's why I call a guy like Jabril Ramsey brother. It's all love, brother. And at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. There's no need for all this finger pointing, these accusations and everything else. It's all love. If we all want the same thing, let's work together for the greater good. And me personally, even though my channel isn't as big as some of these guys that are, in the midst of it, if I knew them a little bit better, I would be the person that would reach out to both of them and say, hey, I'm gonna put 2 hours on my hour or 2 hours on my laptop you guys come to the show and, you know, talk through this so we can all figure out how to squash this, whatever this is, whether it's beef or disagreement or whatever. I would do that. But I don't know at this stage, man. I don't even know if that's even possible because people still don't seem to understand, you know, that it doesn't need to be this way. But that's all. That's all I'm gonna say about that, man.
I think that you're 100% right. And just a little thing like when you, like you said, you have to check yourself sometimes because you get heated, or maybe you said something and maybe you regret it now or something like that. Like, people seem to feel like, no, what I said is what I said. Well, you would be like more of a man, or a woman, I don't care. You will be more of a man if you said in public, like, well, I was wrong about this, and I'm going to publicly say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. This is what I think now. That makes you 100 times better person than anything. Like, to have the balls, to say, I was wrong. I did something wrong. Maybe I was too personal, insulting this guy. Maybe I went off the roof or something like that, and say publicly, I'm sorry. That's it. That's what it means to be a fucking great human being and to have a pair of balls. Not to, no, I insult him and, well, fuck him and that's it. No, if you feel that you were wrong and you felt like you've gone too far, just say you're sorry. That's what fucking adults and fucking people who have a common sense do. That's what all I had to say about it.
Yeah. And through, brother, you know, no matter what it is, it's still hashtag release the Snyder Cut until it's released, whether it's next year, whether it's the following year, whether it's 2022. It's nothing that's going to go away because we're dedicated fans. Me, myself, I'm very much looking forward to Army of the Dead, but I also await the day that WB finally does the right thing and says, hey, we're going to give the world the Snyder Cut. We're going to let Zack Snyder finish what he started, as they should. But with that being said, friend, we're going to move on. Now, starting out, friend, I want to talk a little bit about Joker. Again, a movie that, you know, like Birds of Prey, I was one of the very few that, you know, said this movie is gonna be the one. This movie is gonna be the one. As soon as Joaquin Phoenix was announced to be playing Joker, I was like, this is gonna be the one. And this past weekend, brother, you know, out in a place in Italy, you know, it premiered and yeah, it came to pass. Joaquin Phoenix's performance was acclaimed. There's talks of Oscars not only for him but for the movie as a whole, which I wouldn't be surprised at all. Man, what do you think about Joaquin Phoenix Joker being rated R, Todd Phillips, and what do you make of all this, man?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty much looking forward for it like a lot because of the trailers. Like, only the trailers are fucking incredible pieces of cinema, but I mean, I've seen that the critics, most of them have given the film like a 10 out of 10, a 9 out of 10 or something like that. And I must go in a little bit of a rant here. I saw that Rotten Tomatoes gave it like a 86%, something like that. And they're saying, 85. Wow, yes, 85, 86. It's a good and a high percentage, and that's great, but they're like, wow, it's a masterpiece of a film. It's gonna be before and after these films in terms of comic book movies and this and that. And they are giving it a less tomato meter or percentage or whatever you wanna say than Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like, are you kidding me? And I also saw this review from a guy from the Rap or something like that he said, like, he was criticizing the film, like, well, it was boring and this and that, and the only thing that saves the film is Joaquin Phoenix performance. And he gave it a Rotten in Rotten Tomatoes. And you see the same reviews of this guy in terms of Ant-Man and the Wasp and Far From Home, and it looks like he was talking about the grandfather. Like, oh my god, Ant-Man and the Wasp was such a great film because superheroes and this and that. Like, what are you talking about? Like, for real? Can you consider your site a serious site when you have the Joker being called a masterpiece everywhere? It's a
Oh
10
my
out of
God.
10, and you have it an 86%, and you have critics in there who are like, oh my God, yeah, Spider-Man Far From Home is a masterpiece of a comic book movie and this and that, and it's a great movie, but how can you give a fresh score to Far From Home and you like 2 months later you give a Joker a rotten one?
I
I
agree.
can understand. Like, I just can't. I mean, I don't believe that Disney is paying them or something like that, but it just shows you the hypocrisy of when someone starts to do something different. Not everyone, because it's a great movie and a lot of people are praising it, but some people just can't understand that there's superheroes outside of the MCU. Like, oh, the movie isn't funny. Well, it's not supposed to be fucking funny. It's an R-rated Joker movie. But do you want to having like quips and jokes and this and that when it's an R-rated movie of the downfall of a man and the rise of a supervillain? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, and the thing is, friend, like, you think that people would be ecstatic because it's a distinct film, and that's something we'll talk about a little later on. It's a different, it's different. It's like the X-Men films almost, in a way. Shout out to a good portion of them, where it's a distinct comic film. It's not just a comic book movie film. It's an actual movie. You know what I'm saying? It's cinema. It's not just, you know, jokes, quips, and I like you a little bit. Oh, I don't like you. The villain dies. 2 credits. The end. You know, it's more than just a comic book movie. And I really like. I watched the interview with Todd Phillips, Joaquin, and Zazie Beetz. Shout out to Zazie Beetz. And I really like what they had to say about the film. I couldn't be any more excited for the film than I already was. And I don't know if it was just me, but I watched the video and I think the role really had a really. I can tell Joaquin really threw himself into the character. I know that's a Joker is a very is a character that's hard to get into, but you know I can really tell that he just really got into that character. Um, Touching on what you said a little bit about critics, friend, what is your take on film Twitter already complaining about the movie, which hasn't even come out yet? Because I even went at a young lady on Twitter because she went into some just this bizarre rant about the movie itself, which again hasn't even technically come out yet. You know, and seeing people saying that, oh, this is gonna contribute to mass shootings. A bunch of white males in the audience, whoopty woo, wah, more jokers. What's your take on film Twitter going crazy, brother?
Well, I mean, it's film Twitter and woke Twitter. Like, maybe they are having an award to see who says the dumbest take. I don't know. But I've seen, like, what you say, like, so many shit. Like, oh my God, this movie is trying to make you empathize with the Joker and he's a super villain. And it's like, hey, listen. We, people who have common sense, can differentiate a movie from real world. Like, I don't know if you...
Exactly.
Like, you can root for someone, maybe for Loki, and he's a super villain. But it's a movie. That's it. Like, because the Joker in the film goes in a downfall, and when he becomes the Joker, he starts killing people. You're not going to go in real life and say, oh no, killing innocent people is right because I saw it in this movie. Nobody says that. Like, nobody.
Exactly.
No fucking body. And what you say, like, oh my God, and mass shootings and this and that, and young white guys are going to take this as an example, and this is so wrong, and this and that. And it's like, no, they are not fucking going to take it as an example. It's a fucking movie. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't know. You don't watch terrorist movies and you suddenly become a terrorist. You don't watch, I don't know, Taxi Driver and suddenly become this guy who almost kills the mayor. Like, it's fucking stupid. It really is. I just can't wrap my mind to see how can someone say so dumb shit, and I think that they honestly believe that what they are saying is right, and that's what is scary. Like, if you can't differentiate a movie from real life,
then you're the one we need to actually be worried about.
Yeah, exactly. Because you are the one who can't make the difference, and you're
exactly
like putting the blame on the rest of us when you are the one who has the problem. But I don't know. Fuck them. I think that it's gonna make fuck ton of money. So
it will.
They can keep crying if they want to. Doesn't matter.
It's all because it's DC. If Thanos got his own movie, everybody will be saying 90 on Rotten Tomatoes, Josh Brolin every Oscar, whoopty whoopty whoop. You know, that's all it is. Moving on, brother. Let's talk about Birds of Prey a little bit. Now, even though it wasn't in English, there was a teaser released, and apparently it's gonna be in front of It Chapter 2. Shout out to It Chapter 2. I cannot wait to see that movie. And yes, I know it's not real life for the listeners, but yeah, I can't wait to see that movie.
I'm going to become a killer clown who kills children because it's a movie and I saw it in a movie. Like, it sounds so fucking stupid. Like, I don't know. I get so heated with these shits. Okay, go on. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, bro. With Birds of Prey looking to also be R-rated, and everything coming off of Margot Robbie in Suicide Squad, which was a PG-13 movie, which was probably intended to be R-rated as well, but we won't get into that right now. What's your thoughts on the brief teaser that was released? We did get a glimpse of Mary Elizabeth Winstead, or Mew, as I like to call her, as a Huntress. And we also got a glimpse of Journey Bell as Black Canary. I can't remember if we saw Cassandra Cain or not. But I do think we also got a glimpse of Ian McGregor as Black Mask, even though he didn't have the Black Mask. What did you think about the brief teaser, brother?
Well, I mean, it was like so short that I couldn't even see like a lot of things that were interesting. Like, the cinematography was great. Some of the shots were great. And what I'm really, really, really looking forward is to see Ewan McGregor with the Black Mask. Like, I know that he is Black Mask, but everything that we've seen is him without the mask. So I hope that in the movie they use the mask a lot more. Maybe in the next trailer they show it. I don't know, but I hope that he has the mask as much as possible. And from the teaser, I don't know. I mean, I remember some shots. The shot from the motorcycle from behind, that was really, really cool. Harley with the hyena, or I don't know how is it said in English. Like that he has the collar that says Bruce, and she has that animal in the car with her. And I saw someone saying, "Oh my God, Harley eating a burger makes Margot Robbie so much less hotter." And it's like, okay, like what? Women can't eat, boys. That's the new deal. And I don't know. I'm excited for it, but it's so close to release, and we still don't have like an official teaser. This was leaked, so I don't know what Warner Brothers is expecting to do, really. Like, maybe they are going to start heavily on the marketing after Joker because they want to focus everything on Joker, but it supposedly releases on January, right? And February, but I don't know.
But that's still soon.
Yeah, it's really soon. We don't have anything. We had that little costume test months ago, and we have now this leaked teaser. It is leaked. There's nothing official, so I don't know what are they waiting for. But for the teaser, yeah, I mean, for the 40 seconds that it is, it looks promising at least. What did you think about it?
I really like the action shots in the teaser. I don't know how I feel about the costumes yet, because like you said, it's really so quick. Everything was so quick in the little teaser, so I'd have to wait till we get like a official look at everything. So an official trailer would probably be better. But yeah, based on what I saw, I think for right now, it looks like it's gonna be good. Hope, man. At least I hope so. I mean, if they do reshoots, let's pray we don't get taken back to 2017. But yeah, hopefully everything worked out for the best. It has an R rating, up and coming director, so it should be in good hands. And Margot Robbie, I mean, you can't go wrong there. You can't go wrong. Ian McGregor, you can't go wrong with any of the cast members. Journey Bell, Mew, you just can't go wrong there. And let's just hope that it's a solid piece and a solid addition to the DC movie universe. I guess we can't call it the DCU anymore.
The DC Worlds or something like that.
Yeah. Now, friend, let's talk a little bit. I talked about it a little at chapter 2 a little bit earlier. Again, shout out to it chapter 2. This movie I'm going to be talking about next has literally gone through the ringer. Some would say it's ran completely off the cliff, and that movie is The Flash. Now, The Flash has gone through a lot of changes, directors, etc., starting with the director from Dope, Rick Famuyiwa. Apparently he left due to creative differences. He wanted it to go in one direction, and WB wanted another. The directors of Game Night, again, they also have left the project. Ezra Miller was apparently going to take it into his own hands with Grant Morrison. And then he also, in an interview while promoting Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, was saying they're not going to make it until they get it absolutely right, because they want it to be a gift from them to the fans. And man, his enthusiasm for the Flash, for this movie, for this character is just great. And it's been rumored, but now it's been confirmed that Andy Muschietti from It Chapter 1 and It Chapter 2 will be helming the project. I'm really, really, really excited for this. I hope Grant Morrison is still involved in some capacity, but we don't know about that for now. What's your thought on Andy Muschietti being involved with the Flash, man?
Well, I think maybe he's not the perfect choice, but he's pretty close, because the ability that he has to combine a lighthearted tone with something really scary and mature, like we like when what we saw on it, like the way he can make actors and characters interact with each other, it feels really organic. It feels really natural. It is funny when it needs to be, and it is scary and sad and mature when it needs to be, which is something highly appreciated. And I think that he's the right guy for the job, not only because I think that It Chapter 2 is going to be amazing. I mean, I'm really looking forward for it. Not only because he's a great director, but because he's made Warner Brothers so much money, and I think that It Chapter 2 is going to make lots of money. I think that he's going to have more creative freedom in terms of comparing it to the last directors, because like you say, the last directors left the project because they were like not coming to terms in terms of what they wanted to do with the character. And I think that a guy who's made so much money for them, they're going to be like, well, let him do more of his thing, because he's made a lot of money and we really trust him. Or that's what I hope that they do. Like maybe with Christopher Nolan, right? Like they are like, here's the money, make the movie. And that's something highly appreciated. But I think that he's the right guy, because I think he's going to be able to take the light-hearted tone of the Flash that he has. Like he's a young guy, he's kind of funny, he's not the Batman, he doesn't have to be serious all the time. And the sad or mature part of it, like losing his mother and everything like that, I think that he's going to be able to really make a really good movie, jumping from lighthearted to mature, because he showed that he can do that in It Chapter 1, for example. Like he's really good at that, at mixing lighthearted tone and mature scenes. It's not like some other movies, MCU, where there's a serious moment and they have a joke. Like, that's not knowing how to balance the lighthearted part of a film and the mature part of a film. And I think that Andy Muschietti really knows how to do that properly, as he's shown. So I'm really excited for The Flash. Like, I can't wait to see the Speed Force and everything. Like, I'm really excited for that.
I agree. Now, friend, let me talk to you about this. Going back to Joker for a little bit, man. Todd Phillips had apparently, had the idea for DC Black, which would have, lower budget, more mature and edgy film. Something I fully support. With Joker looking to be the success that it will be, do you think that DC Black has a future and is going to be something that we're going to see more of?
I mean, I hope that we see more of it. I think that it really has future because I think that the Joker is gonna break the box office. I really think so. Like, I know it is R-rated, but I think it's going to make lots of money. And if a studio looks at it and says, wow, an R-rated movie that maybe isn't that related to the DCEU or to the comics is making that money, let's make more. And maybe not only make, for example, Joker 2 or something like that, but to have more characters and give them the same treatment like they have with the Joker. I think that will be perfect because there's a market there. Like, for example, in 2008, what the majority of people wanted to see was like mature kind of adult superhero films. Like, everyone loved The Dark Knight and there's nothing funny about it. It's everything so mature and everything so dark, for example. And then a window opened to some people who didn't want that kind of superhero film and they were like, I want a more lighthearted one. And then the MCU came into the market, they hit it right where they wanted, and now everyone wants lighthearted movies. And now it's happening, the same thing is happening. There's a lot of people who want to see more dark superhero movies, like we've seen, for example, with Logan, movies like that. And I think that it will be perfect to have more movies in the DC dark kind of line of cinema, because there's the market. I mean, I think that some people are craving for some dark and mature superhero movies. There's always the market always finds its place, and I think that right now there's a lot of market for it. And I hope they do. They can do spin-offs of whatever the fuck they want. For me, they can put, for example, the Batman on the DC Dark. Like, make the Batman R-rated. I would be so fucking happy if they did. I mean, I know they don't have the balls to do it, but all this hype, everything is showing you that there's a market for it. So go for it. Like, take characters as the Joker and give them the same treatment. And they're going to be making a lot of money, and we as fans are going to appreciate it because we don't want to always see these lighthearted superhero movies.
Exactly. I completely agree, bro. I completely agree. Man, yeah, and a character I love, and shout out to Zack Snyder for casting him. Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke, who will also be seen on this later on this week in a different form on the DC universe. But anyway, going back to the Deathstroke in the movie world, Joe Manganiello was going to apparently have a solo film directed by the director of The Raid. And the glimpses I've seen of The Raid is just seeing that and thinking about Deathstroke in a low budget kind of R-rated film. That, to me, that belongs in that whole sort of DC Black realm. And that's something I just love to see, something I'm going to be talking about in a future video. That's just something I would just love to see in the lines of those type of films. I know a lot of people have said, do a Lex Luthor film. I've seen some people say do a Scarecrow film. The possibilities are definitely there. It's just about DC continuing to take chances with the films like they've been doing. And like I said, that distinctness between their films is something we'll talk about uh, here shortly. Going back to the Snyder Cut, going back to the Snyder Cut, friend, man. Let's talk about this now. We haven't really seen a whole lot more released these past couple of weeks. We know Zach is busy with Army of the Dead. Again, I can't wait for that. Shout out to Amari Hardwick, by the way. The guy plays this character on Power, Ghost. Shout out to him. Shout out to Dave Batista. Shout out to the whole cast, Miss Purnell. Shout out to everybody, man. I really can't wait for that. It was revealed though, friend, that Fabian Wagner cried throughout the entirety of Joss Whedon's Justice League. What's your thought on that, man? Do you blame him?
I mean, I think that he has a partial blame, but I think that in terms of all the shit that went on, I think that Warner Brothers is the one to blame. Like,
Yeah.
I know that Joss Whedon did his part, and it's fucked up that someone who considers himself a professional were to do something so horrible as to take a film from someone who has just lost a family member and completely erase months and months of work. And Geoff Johns, I know some people who know shit said that he was conspiring or something like that behind their backs. That's fucked up too, but if you think about it, the one who really gave the orders was Warner Brothers. I think that most of the blame should be on Warner Brothers because they were the ones who said, let's hire Geoff Johns, let's hire Joss Whedon. No, we don't want Zack Snyder anymore. We've seen his cut of the movie and we don't like it. Let's fire him and let's bring the Avengers director to make it more lighthearted. And then we are going to make the movie only 2 hours. And then Geoff Johns is going to start meddling with the Batman script, and Ben Affleck is going to get mad. And I know that these guys did is fucked up, but we have to see who was giving the orders. Like, they are to blame as much as Warner Brothers is to blame, because in the end they were the ones who fired Zack and said that his cut of the movie was unwatchable. And then some people who've seen it too say that it's an amazing movie. So I don't know what the fuck did they say. But I mean, I hope that the same guys who in Warner Brothers, the same executives who saw the Snyder Cut and said, this is horrible, no one can watch this. I hope that they saw the theatrical cut and it was even worse and they knew it. Like, we fucked up so bad, and now most of us, excepting one of us, is fired. So in the end, they are getting what they fucking deserved. I mean, we're only waiting for Toby Emmerich, but
and just watching the movie, bro, it's weird. And thinking about it, it just seems like what I couldn't consider sabotage. It just seems too intentional. It just seems like and I said this like last year, it seems like they just wanted the movie to flop, and they just wanted all the blame to go on Zack Snyder so they'd have a viable excuse to just drag the poor man's name through the mud. And it's crazy, man. I don't want to start ranting, but I think about it all the time, how how everything came to be, and coming off of Man of Steel and BVS and going to a freaking cartoon with horrible CGI, horrible moments, just bizarre filmmaking choices. It's disgusting. Moving on, friend. Let's talk about DC. Something I've talked about and we just pretty much touched on is DC's ability to be distinct with their movies. And shout out to the X-Men films that were made by Fox, even the ones that were bad. Now, do you think that their ability to be distinct is something that will better benefit the universe as a whole in the long run? Would you agree or disagree?
I mean, I would agree as the same thing that I said in terms of DC Dark. Like, if you try to do the same thing as Marvel is doing, you're gonna fail. Because people don't wanna see the same thing twice from someone who is not Marvel. I mean, I think that
Right.
that was pretty clear when they did what they did to Justice League. They tried to Marvelize it, and people hated it. So I think what I said before, like DC right now needs its own path. It has to have diversity of films. Like you can have films like Shazam, for example, which is lighthearted and it's a great movie, and then you can have Aquaman, who's like a adventure epic movie, and then you should have Joker, and you should have the Batman. Like you should have diverse films with different tones, different age restrictions, and everything, because people right now, like I said before, are craving for more serious superhero films. I know that Endgame did a lot of money and it was lighthearted and everything like that, but I know there's a market for it because people are really asking for, like, you only have to see the expectation for the Joker, an R-rated comic book movie, and everyone is losing their minds, like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever. So I think that if DC wants to succeed, they have to stay away from the Marvel formula and have diverse films that don't really need to be connected. I mean, some Easter eggs, some cameos, yeah, but they don't have to do big team up films, because that's what Marvel is doing. And well, it's shown that if you try to do that in terms of DC, you're going to fail and lose a lot of money. So they need to stay diverse and make films for everybody, and you will get money. Really simple.
I agree. I completely agree. And they got a multitude of catalog of characters that, again, like Deathstroke, for example, they could just make multiple movies with Deathstroke and make hits, make fortunes. I could see something like John Wick, not necessarily the same story, but the same kind of style. And like I said, in terms of budget, applied to a character like Deathstroke, even a character like Batgirl, which I really want to see in the DC movie world as well. And even like Nightwing with Chris McKay, you know, those kind of characters could definitely, they could all each have their own distinct distinct style, and it could definitely work. It's all a matter of will they continue doing it. And so far, you know, they seem to be doing that. Hopefully they keep doing that. And as I said in my past video, there's certainly, if what Toby Emmerich said is true, then the Snyder Cut must be released. Finally, friend, let me ask you this, and then we'll close. Now, we all know this is not going to happen. Joaquin Phoenix made it abundantly clear that he doesn't want this to happen, and he's not going to do it. But if it were possible, which Batman would you want to see Joaquin's Joker go up against?
I mean, it is strange because if you have in fight Robert Pattinson's Batman, the Joker is going to be like 60. Like, it's going to be really, really strange. And I don't know, I don't think that we've already established that Ben Affleck's Batman is supposed to be fighting the Jared Leto's Joker, like we saw in Suicide Squad. So the only other alternative is to have Joaquin Phoenix Joker to fight Robert Pattinson's Joker, but it will be really strange to have like a 60-something-year-old Joker fighting a 20-year-old Batman. Like, I don't know the age difference in the comics and everything like that, but they are supposedly like the same age. Like maybe the Joker is 10 years older or something like that. There's not, I mean, I don't think that there's that huge gap. And the other thing is that in the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie, he meets the Waynes and he meets young Bruce and everything. So I think that it will really be something strange to see. Like, Bruce already knows who the Joker is. Like, in the trailer, you can see that he doesn't wear the makeup and he goes to see Bruce. So Bruce will already know who he is, and that takes a lot from the dynamic that they have when Batman doesn't know who he is and everything. I mean, if I had to wish for a combination of Batman and Joker, I would say like Joaquin Phoenix Joker and Robert Pattinson's Batman, but it wouldn't really make a lot of sense. But I mean, if they want to do it, I'm all in for it. Like, I would be there on opening night.
Okay. Well, friend, brother, we have reached the end of this video, man. Ladies and gentlemen, I will leave a link to Fran's channel in the description. Do go subscribe to his channel and be on the lookout for collaborations in the foreseeable future. Thank you all for listening, and subscribe, like, and comment, and we will all see you next time.
Bye-bye.